Did you know in the past 12 months, over 72,000 visa applications from Asian countries have been rejected by the UK Home Office? A number that's raising eyebrows and triggering alarm bells. But here's the catch. Some countries are being hit way harder than others, and it's not just about paperwork. It's about politics, perception, and silent policy shifts. Why are so many travelers from Asia suddenly facing closed doors in Britain? Has the UK started targeting specific countries? And more importantly, is this a quiet travel ban in disguise? Rumors are swirling online. Social media is full of claims like UK bans Indian tourists or Filipinos denied entry without reason. But what's really going on behind those headlines? In this video, we're cutting through the noise. We're going to dive deep into 10 Asian countries that are reportedly no longer welcome in the UK. What's true, what's exaggerated, and what's still under the radar. You might be shocked by some of the countries on this list. And if you're from one of them, or planning to visit the UK soon, you need to watch this till the end. Let's get into it. Number 10. Iran. Iranian citizens have faced increasing scrutiny at UK borders in recent years, but in 2025, things have escalated dramatically. According to immigration observers, visa rejection rates for Iranians have climbed to nearly 58%, one of the highest in Asia. But what's fueling this sharp rise? It's not a formal ban. The UK government hasn't officially blacklisted Iran. But behind the scenes, geopolitical tensions have translated into tighter vetting, especially for young male travelers and applicants with limited travel history. There's growing concern over national security, cyber activities, and diplomatic friction, which, right or wrong, ends up affecting everyday Iranians. In some cases, applicants are asked to provide extensive documentation, multiple bank statements, invitation letters, proof of accommodation, and even social media history. These aren't standard requests. They're red flags indicating extra suspicion. Many Iranian applicants find the process not just frustrating, but humiliating. And then there's the silent pressure. Iranian students, even those accepted into top UK universities, are seeing delays or unexplained denials. Some believe this is a direct result of diplomatic retaliation or an effort to quietly discourage Iranian migration. One recent case involved a PhD student with full funding from Oxford who was denied entry with no clear reason. Stories like this are becoming alarmingly common, pushing many to reconsider their education or travel plans altogether. To make matters worse, misinformation is spreading. Fake headlines claiming Iran banned from UK are going viral, causing panic. But the truth is more subtle and more troubling. It's not about a wall, it's about a web of quiet restrictions that make it harder and harder for Iranians to cross into the UK. If you're Iranian or planning to invite someone from Iran, be aware. The door isn't closed, but it's becoming much harder to push open. Number 9. Myanmar. Myanmar's relationship with the UK has taken a downturn in recent years, especially following the military coup in 2021 and the worsening human rights situation. In 2025, UK immigration officers are now reportedly treating applicants from Myanmar with extra caution, often citing security risk as a primary reason for visa rejections. Visa acceptance rates have dropped to just 31%, one of the lowest for any Southeast Asian country. This dramatic decrease is not just a bureaucratic hurdle, it's a reflection of the UK's unease about Myanmar's unstable political environment. Many citizens applying for tourist or student visas are now finding themselves rejected without explanation. Even those with strong financial backing or sponsorships are flagged for additional checks. Reports suggest that some applicants are waiting over 6 months for a decision, only to be denied in the end. The impact? Families separated, students losing scholarship opportunities, and tourists with legitimate plans left in limbo. The emotional and financial toll is significant and deeply personal for many applicants. There's also a stigma growing. Immigration consultants in Yangon report that clients are beginning to avoid applying to the UK altogether, choosing destinations like Canada, Australia, or even South Korea instead. The trend is clear. Trust in the UK visa process is eroding. It's a quiet shift, but a powerful one. And if this trajectory continues, Myanmar may soon be among the countries with the least access to UK entry, without any official declaration. What are your thoughts on this? Have you or someone you know faced issues with UK visa applications? Drop your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more real updates on immigration news. Number 8. Indonesia. Indonesia doesn't often make headlines when it comes to immigration crackdowns, but that's exactly why its growing friction with UK visa authorities has caught so many off guard. In the past year, Indonesian applicants have started facing an unusual wave of vague rejections. No detailed reasons, no appeals, just a flat application refused. The UK hasn't made any official announcement, but immigration data quietly shows a nearly 40% increase in visa refusals for Indonesian nationals in the last 12 months alone. So, what's changed? Part of it seems to stem from a rising number of overstays and undocumented work reports from Indonesian migrants in Europe. While most cases don't involve the UK directly, the ripple effect is very real. Border officials appear to be using broader profiling measures, tightening entry for citizens of watch-listed countries, and Indonesia has suddenly landed on that watch list. Applicants, especially younger ones and those traveling solo, are now routinely subjected to interviews, document re-verification, and in some cases, biometric reviews that extend beyond standard protocol. The result? Families delaying long-awaited trips, business travelers abandoning meetings, students stuck in limbo. Unlike Iran or Myanmar, Indonesia's struggle isn't rooted in politics or war. It's in perception, a perception that's growing quietly, based on numbers and trends rather than headlines. And for thousands of Indonesians trying to get to the UK, that silent judgment is becoming a louder barrier with every passing month. Even travel agents are beginning to notice. Many now recommend alternate destinations, citing the UK as unpredictable for Indonesian tourists. The uncertainty is not official policy, but it's becoming the reality. Number 7. Vietnam. For years, Vietnam was seen as one of Southeast Asia's most promising travel partners with the UK. Cultural exchange programs flourished, student numbers were climbing, and tourism looked bright. But in 2025, that smooth track has turned bumpy. Fast. UK visa rejection rates for Vietnamese nationals have surged by 35% over the past year. And unlike other countries on this list, the change hasn't been tied to political events or security concerns. Instead, it seems to be all about volume and verification. The UK has seen a rapid rise in applications from Vietnam, particularly from students and short-term visitors. But with that increase has come more scrutiny, especially around document authenticity and interview consistency. Even minor errors, like mismatched dates or missing bank stamps, are now leading to full denials. This has created a ripple effect of fear and confusion. Students are second-guessing their university plans. Travel consultants are urging clients to over-prepare, submitting twice the usual amount of proof. Some are even paying third-party services to pre-screen their applications before submitting, just to avoid being labeled suspicious. It's not hostility, it's hypervigilance. But for Vietnamese citizens, the outcome feels the same. More hoops, less clarity, and growing frustration. One education counselor in Ho Chi Minh City described it bluntly. It's like the UK moved the goalposts without telling anyone. And while the UK still issues thousands of visas to Vietnamese travelers, the mood is shifting. Where there was once excitement, there's now hesitation. Where there was confidence, there's now second-guessing. Dreams of studying abroad are becoming cautious calculations, and carefree travel plans are now buried under paperwork. Vietnam hasn't been banned, but it's no longer being welcomed with open arms either. Number 6. Nepal. Nepal might not seem like a country that would land on a UK immigration watch list. It's peaceful, culturally rich, and historically has had cordial ties with the UK, especially through long-standing ties like the Gurkha regiments. But recent shifts in immigration data suggest that something's changed. Over the past year, visa applications from Nepali citizens have faced a steady climb in rejections. In fact, According to internal immigration sources, more than 1 in 3 applicants are now being denied entry, often on vague or procedural grounds. The driving force? Concerns over undocumented labor migration. UK officials are increasingly wary of applicants using tourist or student visas as a means to enter and work illegally, especially in sectors like food delivery and care work. While this behavior reflects only a small fraction of applicants, it has cast a long shadow over everyone else. Travel agents and student consultancies in Kathmandu report that many applicants are now being asked to provide unusually detailed financial records and family ties. Even applicants with spotless records are being flagged for verification delays that can stretch for months. This atmosphere of suspicion has also affected perception. Families who once viewed the UK as a dream destination are now encouraging their children to look elsewhere. Australia, Canada, and even smaller European countries are gaining favor over the UK. It's a slow but noticeable shift. And for a country like Nepal, where overseas education and job opportunities are lifelines for many, this new wave of rejections feels like a closed door. The UK hasn't said no to Nepal, but it's making yes much harder to hear. And the silence is speaking volumes. Number 5. Philippines. When Filipinos think of the UK, they often picture opportunity. Whether it's nursing, hospitality, or education, the UK has long been one of the top destinations for Filipino workers and students. But in 2025, something feels off. There's been no formal announcement, no dramatic headlines, but a quiet shift is happening beneath the surface. Visa refusals are climbing, and the reasons aren't always clear. Many applicants are reporting denials for insufficient ties to home country, a vague, catch-all reason that's difficult to challenge or reverse. This shift comes at a time when the UK is heavily reliant on Filipino workers in essential sectors, especially healthcare. Yet paradoxically, applications from other categories, like dependents, tourists, or vocational students, are being stalled or turned down. It's a strange contradiction. Welcome in one lane, but blocked in another. Some experts believe this inconsistency is linked to immigration caps and pressure on housing and social services. Others point to a spike in visa fraud cases that may have triggered a tougher stance overall. A few even speculate that shifting bilateral agreements could be playing a behind-the-scenes role. For ordinary applicants, the result is uncertainty. A nurse may get approved while her spouse is rejected. A student may be accepted while their documentation is dissected line by line. Frustration is building, especially among families trying to reunite or travel together. The sense is clear. It's getting harder, even when all the boxes are ticked. The UK hasn't turned its back on the Philippines, but the warm welcome is starting to cool. And for many, it's the mixed signals that hurt the most. Number 4. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a country still recovering from economic turbulence, and for many of its citizens, the UK has represented hope, a place to study, work, and build a more stable future. But recent developments suggest that the UK is quietly stepping back from welcoming Sri Lankan nationals as freely as before. Immigration data points to a concerning rise in visa refusals, especially in categories like student and family visit visas. Several UK-based sponsors report being asked to resubmit documents that had already been approved in prior applications. Others have faced lengthy delays with no clear explanation or guidance on next steps. The reasons being cited? Insufficient evidence of return intent and risk of overstay. It's a polite way of saying the UK doubts whether applicants will come back. And given Sri Lanka's current economic situation, that assumption is becoming more common. Fair or not? The issue is also deeply personal. Sri Lankan students with full scholarships have been turned away. Couples planning to reunite have seen their applications suspended. Parents hoping to visit their children working in the UK are facing silence instead of approvals. Even tourist visa seekers are reporting frustrating, unexplained denials. The real pain lies in the limbo. There's no official travel warning, no policy update, but the invisible hurdles keep rising. For many Sri Lankans, the process now feels unpredictable, opaque, and emotionally draining. As word spreads back home, Trust in the UK visa system is eroding. It's not a wall, but it's definitely a barrier. And as that invisible barrier gets taller, the UK is slowly drifting out of reach for more and more Sri Lankans. Number 3. Bangladesh. Bangladesh has a long-standing connection with the UK, from historic migration waves in the 1970s to today's growing diaspora. The link between the two countries runs deep. But despite this bond, getting a UK visa in 2025 is proving harder than ever for many Bangladeshis. The rejection rate for visa applications has climbed sharply, particularly in student and family visitor categories. Applicants are frequently being asked to provide additional evidence, even after submitting all standard documents. Many are caught off guard when those extra steps lead nowhere, except a rejection letter. Why the shift? Sources close to immigration review boards point to two main reasons: rising cases of document inconsistencies and an increase in unlawful overstays among Bangladeshi nationals in recent years. Though these issues involve a minority, they've cast a shadow over the entire applicant pool. Now, even legitimate applicants, those with strong financials, clear travel histories, and valid reasons, are facing skepticism. Agents report that interview questions have become more aggressive. Some are even discouraged from applying at all, especially if their purpose is non-urgent or casual. For Bangladeshis with family already in the UK, the frustration is amplified. Parents are unable to visit their children. Siblings are denied entry for weddings or special occasions. It's personal, it's painful, and it's happening more often than many realize. There's no ban, but there is a barrier. It's made of suspicion, of red tape, and of assumptions that often go unchallenged. And for a country so closely tied to Britain's own cultural fabric, that unspoken wall feels especially bitter. People are starting to ask, if not now, then when will the door truly be open again? Number 2. Afghanistan. Afghanistan's situation is unlike any other on this list. After the Taliban takeover in 2021, the country entered a prolonged state of political and humanitarian crisis. For Afghans seeking refuge, education, or even temporary family reunification abroad, the UK once appeared as a beacon of hope, but in 2025, that hope feels more distant than ever. The rejection rate for UK visas among Afghan applicants is now estimated to exceed 70%, one of the highest globally. The reasons are complex. Yes, security concerns play a major role. But beyond that, there's a growing bureaucratic wall that few are able to scale. Many applications are stalled indefinitely. Others are rejected outright for reasons as vague as lack of credibility or unverifiable intent to return. Even in cases where the applicants are fleeing life-threatening situations or are connected to British allies, approval is not guaranteed. What's especially disheartening is the inconsistency. One applicant may be approved under humanitarian grounds, while another with a nearly identical case is turned away. Legal advocates say that many of these decisions appear arbitrary, further eroding trust in the process. For families already in the UK trying to bring loved ones over, the delays are gut-wrenching. Some have waited over a year, submitting stacks of documents, only to be met with silence or automated rejections. There's no official ban on Afghanistan, but the restrictions, delays, and lack of transparency function like one. The system is overwhelmed, underfunded, and in some cases seemingly indifferent. For countless Afghans, the door to the UK isn't just closed, it feels bolted shut, sealed with uncertainty, and reinforced by silence. Number 1. India. India and the UK share a deeply entangled history, colonial past, vibrant trade, large diaspora, and even shared legal and academic frameworks. But in 2025, that historic connection isn't translating into easy access. In fact, Indian nationals are facing more visa rejections than any other Asian country this year. The numbers are startling. Over 22,000 visa applications from Indian citizens were rejected in just the first half of 2025. The reasons? A mix of incomplete documentation, overstated financials, and an increasingly cited cause, questionable travel intent. Indian applicants, Even those applying for high-skilled work or prestigious universities report being grilled in visa interviews. Some are asked for tax returns going back 3 years. Others are told their financial sponsorships are not convincing enough, despite being legally verified. There's also growing speculation that the rising scrutiny is part of a broader post-Brexit recalibration. With the UK negotiating trade deals and tightening immigration caps, Indian nationals, despite their volume, are now being caught in a more selective net. Tourist and business visas have also taken a hit. Corporate leaders complain of delays that disrupt meetings and conferences. Families trying to visit relatives during wedding season are left waiting for approvals that never arrive. Students have been impacted too. Several high-ranking universities in the UK have reported a drop in Indian enrollments, not because of lack of interest, but because the visas didn't come through in time. All of this is fueling frustration and suspicion. India isn't being banned, but the perception that it's being quietly filtered out is hard to ignore. For a country that contributes significantly to the UK's economy and higher education system, this tightening grip is more than policy. It feels personal. If this video made you pause or think, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts or stories in the comments below, because your voice matters. And if you're curious about how these policies began shifting, check out our last video. It connects all the dots. We pour hours into researching and writing these stories, so if you found it valuable, do us one favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means everything to us.